Hey everyone, this weekend we had the Chiho Cup for Kobe, which is pretty much WGP, except slightly smaller in terms of size, but still very, very big. Lots of people join. So I think this is pretty important in order to just determine what is going on in the metagame, because every single one of these events are basically evolving decks, and we're going to see a lot more solidification of some of the more popular decks going into the format and pretty much see some trends already. So first off, we do have the top 16 deck breakdown. This was teams as well, and there was diversity cut. But yeah, we as we can see, Ava is still the top deck out of the lot, right? Very, very dominating. But then we also have Ebisu and Messiah at 7 and 6 Zorga, right? Then 5 Gandiva, and then we have like 3 Jejul, 2 Chronoject, and Hexorb, Avant-Garde, Overlord, and then 1 Magnolia, PBO, and Fortia. But we can see here that like the Ebisus and the Messiahs are also considered to be very, very strong decks in the format, while Chronoject has like really dropped off in terms of like the Stride decks, which is quite surprising because I think you'll say like a lot of people who have played in this current Japanese format and played both of the Stride decks would say that Jet is better compared to Messiah, but Messiah is the one that Japan seems to be picking and seems to be doing well with, which is really surprising, I want to say, simply because, like, again, I also believe that the Jet is better than Messiah. Messiah has been pretty copium every time I play it. But yeah, that's pretty much the top 16 deck breakdown. They do show off all the decks that we will be kind of going through, so, you know, from the 16th onwards, here are a bunch. There are some interesting ones, but we're going to see a lot of the Gandiva and the Zorga lists because this is where, like, most of the trends are happening, and then we have like the diversity cut things like Avant-Garde is kind of cool, right? And then, you know, you see a 40, it's like, wow, but that's definitely a diversity cut as well. And then some of the Jejul lists are pretty cool too, and a PBO list, which is pretty much just like what you see before. And then like the Ebisus have been pretty standardized like most of the time too, which is crazy. We have some Magnolias. Like one Magnolia doing well, and still a couple of Hexorbs doing okay. But yeah, we'll be going through these just later, right? And then the top 4 in the winners was pretty much these decks. So we got Shibatasu with the Zorga Masks, Gandiva, and Ebisu lineup. Not even running the Ava in their lineup, but running some pretty popular decks. And then we got, I think it's Hapira, running a Gandiva, Zorga Masks, and Ava lineup. So very similar to the first place, except just replacing the Ebisu with the Ava. Then we have Koki with the Ebisu, Chronojet, and Messiah lineup. So just straight up going into like double strides. And then last one is like, yeah, it's like Black Thunder or something. This one is Jeweled Magnolia and Gandiva. So actually just totally different from all the other lists. Just showing that you don't need like an Ebisu and a an Ava to like do well. Finally, have only one Ava in the top 4, right? So out of top 16, we did see a lot. Only one Ava. But if you also look at the top 4, top 4 is confirmed to be undefeated decks, and they all took an Ebisu. So this is pretty much a trend, and I think Ebisu and Ava is just pretty much considered to be like the best 2 decks in the current format right now, simply because they have a lot to offer. I think we are all about the Ava and how it's so good with the habitable zone. Yeah, it's just a really, really strong and solid deck and really fast now. But let's kind of take a look at some of the decks now. And first off, we are going to take a look at the Ebisu list. So this one is... There's a lot to say about this as we can zoom in a bit. Well, not really that much to say because this is pretty much like the old list, except you only run one Anastasia because this is like restricted now. But you find that it's not that bad because of like just how this deck runs, right? Because of this gacha event, you can look at the top 5 cards of your deck and grab it like something to the pretty much anything like to the order zone, right? To your monster box, anything like relevant, which includes the Anastasia. So you have a decent chance of like either grabbing it in your hand or grabbing it into your monster box. And as always, you still have that 10-part gacha to like get a whole bunch of stuff in your monster box. So yeah, you do have a good chance of like hitting this key card, because once you hit it, your game plan is pretty much the same as before, and you just continue like just comboing. You get to retire, you get to set your opponent's power to like AK, You can like wipe the front row so you can deal with Ava and things like that. So there's just a lot of things going for this deck. You can like have like early game aggression, a lot of things to do, right? So, and then you like great defensive power because, you know, Ebisu for some reason has like the second effect, which just lets you guard from the monster box. So yeah, just overall very versatile deck, can handle a lot of situations, kind of similar to like Ava, right? Ava can like tutor you answers into your hand. So this is why like both of them are just really strong. Can kind of ignore triggers as well, you know, doesn't really require Persona Ride to go off, though Persona Ride is really nice. But yeah, this is why this deck is pretty much one of the best decks currently in this format. And I have to agree, right? You know, if you want to take like two of the best decks to like the tournament, then you can bring Ava and Ebisu. You have a huge advantage. But going forward, let's kind of look at the other decks in the format. So here we have the Zorga deck. This has kind of changed quite a bit compared to before. You're gonna see a lot of these decks are running the how do you call it, the Wretch or the Beast, the Dragon Tree Beast. Like it's just the set 9 Dragon Tree Stoicheia card, right? And I think this was pretty much off a lot of people's radar for quite a while. They were like, you know, guess what the best one is? It's like the Brancate one and I think probably the Keter one, right? But you know, the Stoicheia Beast really coming through, letting you just CB1 and Soul Blast 1 to grab a normal order from the drop zone. So it kind of grabs you answers, and then the rest of the deck has, like, you see they've lowered the count of, you know, the dragon, the grade 2 Dragon Tree card, which just searches you the mask, because you realize, like, you know, you don't always need it, especially if you go first. It's like it's cool to go to Zorga masks. But at the same time, like, if you're going first, you can maybe stay a turn on the original Zorga and like still do like a decent amount of stuff. The only time you need it is like the second one. Also, you've got like Shadow Cloak. You've got the Shadow Cloak guy, so you can always dump the mask, the Mask of Hydragam if you like really need it. Yeah. Of course, when you go second, you just want to go into it and just go Persona Ride. Let's go. But yeah, just letting you tutor any single order is fine. Also, some of the order lineups have changed a bit. I know a lot of people at some point was like running like X of this. But now, you know, you have a bit of like one-offs for like other things too, which makes it like really work. And then only 2 Keen Center, which that's kind of normal. That's pretty much normal. And then the Gandiva lists have been pretty much like solved, I have to say. This is similar to like I think Miltai's list that he made and posted. Straight up 4 Brachioforce, letting you kind of go more aggressive early, like committing cards early and not feeling bad, and still it kind of like if this stays on the board, it still retains value, and if it hits, you kind of cycle through a deck, which is like pretty good as well. This also triggers Gandiva's effect too. 3 of the best harvests. This is pretty much like the tech that people have been putting in now. Regardless if you like it or not, everyone is running this. You'll see this just come up every single time. And then the main deck is pretty much just straight up solved as well. So you have 4 of the grade 3 Stirgurna, right? Then 4 of the multi-attacker, 4 of the grade 2 that's just look pretty much retire or like bind and draw. 4 Brachioforce, and then 3 of the countercharger. This is pretty much it. This is the lineup. And then everyone is running just the Bav Saga ride line. Going as this guy's running as far as the 2, I think most people just run the 1, like 0 and the 1, because, you know, the ride line itself, right, the OG, the grade 1 for the ride line allows you to free discard. It makes you don't have to discard if your opponent has like nothing on the board. While if they do have like 2 or more, you can call it out when you when you ride on top of a ride. But then when you think about it, like Bav Saga ride line gives you a free discard for ride line as well, but it calls it out of the deck. It calls the shield out of the deck, so you know that's like slight compression, right? So it's a bit better. It's a bit better. But we'll see pretty much similar lists going forward for Gandiva, and then for Zorga again we have another blue Zorga, and again very, you know, we got the three Dragon Tree Beast here. And this guy is actually like running the zero of the Searcher, but then that allows him to run 1 more of this order, right? But otherwise, the rest of the orders is pretty much the same, right? Pretty much the same, and the rest of the deck is pretty much the same. It's like a 1 card difference, yeah. And then here's the Gandiva list again, so pretty much the same. Running straight up to the grade 2. It's like the exact same list, the one we saw before. And these are basically the top 4 lists. So we saw the first place one, and this is like the second place one. So yeah, pretty much exact same list. Not much. Oh, actually no. Difference here is for Meteor Flare Dragon, I think, because we didn't see the Meteor Flare Dragon before, right? Let's go. Yeah, Brachiosaurus or Meteor Flare Dragon. Slight difference, right? Slight difference. And then we have the Dreduled. So continuing to the Dreduled. This one is a bit of a different Dreduled compared to before. So first week we saw a lot of like, we say like Turbo Dreduled, like stuff in the 4 masks, and then just go. But this one seems to be running a bit slower because what you realize is before, like, you know, you seem to just run out of steam. So what this guy's running is, you know, only 2 Rockagores, which is okay, right? You can just use it for the finisher. But wearing 2 of this Mask Searcher, so that kind of like confirms it, I guess. Like confirms it. Does require CB though, but that means you run less of the mask, which is like slightly okay. Still has the Swirler and the Gungaram engine, but also, you know, just having two Falcates. And a lot of people have taken this out, but I guess 2 is just kind of a bit solid at least. Allows you to it's all right. It's all right. So yeah, it feels like a bit of a slower build compared to the other Dreduled, but I guess the plus side is that you less run out of steam, which is a good thing, right? It's a good thing. And then we have the Magnolia list as well. This is from the top 4. This is kind of interesting. You have the how do you call it, the Flagberg ride line, and then you have the Elder, and the rest is pretty much like what you'd expect. A bunch of grade 2s. You still have the Empics and the Inlet Pulse. You have some of the new support pretty much, and yeah, that's pretty much it. New support, and then you have like Eleni as well, just to be a bit more aggressive, like lets you push a bit earlier. But yeah, pretty nice. Only like this is like one of the one-offs, right? So nice. I think we saw Magnolia do well in the Indonesia WGP, and that was a singles, right? So yeah, interesting. Showing that Magnolia is not dead, even though this is not really that popular a deck anymore. And then continuing on, we have the Gandivas again. So we got the Brachiosaurus all the way up to the 2, right? So it looks like no one cares about the free Gandiva power, right? Just get free stuff all the way to 3, and then like I think you're pretty much your entire ride line is free. And then just the rest of it is just pretty much the same. I think this one's running fronts. Some of them might be running draws, so just look out for that. Comes down to a bit of preference. And then continuing on, yeah, another, like literally the same list. Literally just the same list for all the Gandivas. I'm just double checking, right? Yeah, it's not even the same deck code. It's just everyone has the same idea. It's pretty, deck is solved. Deck is 100% solved. Hexaorb. So Hexaorb, we saw 2 Hexaorb lists this week. So this one is running the Aquamarine in the main ride line, and then it's like similar to the last WGP. There were like some running Aquamarines in the main ride line and some running OG Hexaorb. Up to you to decide which one is better. This one is running. What I like about these ones is that these ones are running the new. Well, not the new. This one's from BTO6, but it's like a free top deck searcher that also soul charges, but allows you to like commit this one early and kind of push a bit, right? Which is nice. And then also running the set 9 Dragon Tree dude, which, you know, count last 1 draw 1. So that's cool. That's cool. And then continuing on, Zorga. So this is like red Zorga. And this is running like a super weird ride line. So if you look at this, it's like, okay, this is normal. This is normal. What is this? What is this? This is not a Vanguard effect. It's like a rearguard effect. But I guess you confirm this. That means if you confirm this, you confirm the mask, right? Which is kind of smart. And then you have the red Zorga to soul blast this dude out, right? I guess so. That works. That works. You're always gonna get your mask. And in a way, I think like red Zorga is just like, again, slightly better if you want to sit on a card, like sit on a 3. But with this, you'll just always get it. You know, just always get the mask. So that means you'll nearly always get it. If you don't have the Zorga mask, then you don't get it. But again, like I feel like red Zorga is kind of strong if you just sit there. You know, if you sit on red and you have like a bunch of different orders. Like this is a very different order lineup compared to the ones that we saw previously. But then other than that, the monster lineup is usually relatively the same. I guess Bell is kind of different, like the one-off. But yeah, the rest of it is pretty much the same. Yeah. Then continuing on, we have the Hexa Orb that's running the OG Hexa Orb in the ride line. But this one is weird. So it has like this guy, like Maple, grade 1 Maple in the ride line. So I guess you can call it out. It's a free stuff. So that's like not bad, right? Not bad. You still keep the most important thing, which is the 2 to the 3, which just lets you stack. This one is also running the this is the restrict. It's like the guard restrict. So yeah, interesting. Guard restrict. We saw this last week, and this one is kind of expanded upon, I guess. I think last week one guy ran 2 copies. He's running 3, so like more committal there, and also the Dia Glass in here too. But otherwise, yeah, the rest of it is just what you'd expect. You know, the Cycler, the Octa-Ray, and just the grade 1 top deck Charger. So interesting. And then another Zorga, so blue Zorga again. This is kind of more similar to the week 1 builds, right? Actually running 3 of the masks on top of this as well. So basically what you're doing is like, you're just like ordering masks every single time, right? Masks. And so I guess with 4 of this, you know, you have more targets, so it's like kind of nice. It feels good when you hit, right? So okay, yeah, I kind of dig. And then again, the Drejeweled list again. This is like more of a, I guess it's week 1, you know, Drejeweled 4/4. Only 3 masks, you know, they ran 4 before, but this one's only running 3. And just putting all of the how do you call it, the cards into like just the grade 3s and the grade 2s. Yeah, okay, yeah, just pretty much a week 1 build. And Avantgardia. So this one is pretty good now with the halfway. I think I talked about it before. Amazing card, just let you draw and then counter charge. And then the rest of it is just consistency. So this one, you know, this PR grabs you the strategies, and this one grabs you the persona rides. So you never miss. You never want to miss. If you miss, you just feel bad. Simple as that. And then next here, Blue Zorga again. Blue Zorga running kind of... Okay, so 4 of the Dragon Tree. 4 of the Dragon Tree is cool. A Rorowa ride line, though. So slightly different there. But yeah, kind of rest is pretty much the same. You don't have space to really put much of other stuff yet. And then another kind of one of the week one, you know, Drejeweled. I guess this is still the common build, right? Out of all the Drejeweled we've seen, only one guy ran the non-common build, right? Non 4 of 4/4, 4/4, everything. So I guess this is still the more common one, but the one that was odd did do slightly better, right? Made it out of top 16, right? Made top 4. Blue Zorga. So Blue Zorga again. Yeah, just same lineup. You know, 2 order lineups are pretty normal now. A lot of Bang Dream. Wow, it's like is that the whole band? Also got 3 of the Megami draws. This is a pretty. The trigger lineup here is more expensive than probably the rest of the deck. I'm not gonna lie. All right, that's nice. That's nice. And then 40. So this is the 1 of 40 list. So 100%. This is 100%. This is what you call diversity, man. And running this definitely helped out with diversity. But just re-standard deck, right? Re-standard deck with, you know, the friends and Yuika. Yeah, yeah. It's like you could play Lutetia as well. Both restand Vanguard. Back to the Gandivas. Same deck. Literal same deck. I can't emphasize how samey the deck is. I think this is running draws instead of fronts compared to before. Also has the MFD as well. So yeah, it's... the deck is pretty much nearly solved, right? Very cool. It's solved in week 2. And then another Blue Zorga list. This one is also running the Beast, right? The Beast. So yeah, yeah, nice. Maybe I'm pretty sure I did not accidentally re-click, right? Re-click, but we can double check later. And then lastly, well, not lastly, this is another Avantgardia list as well. This is different from the one that we saw. There were 2 Avantgardias that made it. Similar ideas, right? You know, you just run 4 of the new half-away card because it's just too good. Just too good. And then you have the consistency engine, but this one is only running 3 of the consistency. Also running less strategy. Look at the strategy, like 2, and then no 1. But you know what we run? We run the Orphist order, so getting us a Shadow Army token. So that's cool. And also running all the grade 2 that is from set 9, right, on release. And this is Enlightened Age Dragon, right? So running 4 of this. I know like a lot of people just don't have space for this because you know there's just you want to run other stuff, but this guy really cut down on his order. I can't emphasize like 2-2, 2-2-1, like no orders, like literally no orders, and running quite a lot of this. I know in set 9 you run a lot of this guy just to like you know make columns, but you know this guy's still running 3 of it, so yeah, different takes. Also running, actually no, the ride line's weird too. You're running 1 of this, so just to get the just to get the Dark Knight order right. So okay, a strange tech build. I saw a deck that running 3 of the Welstra Dog as well, so you can kind of make that and Combine Rusher and just rush early. That was a pretty interesting build. And then lastly, we have that Gandiva list that is solved. So 100%. Look how solved this list is. This guy, the only difference is 2 best harvest, 1 less Brachio Force, and able to stick in 3 of Barnaya, right? Which is just like if you've retired this turn after the battle it boosted, you know, you bind it and draw a card. So every other list wasn't running this. This guy's running 3 and just cutting 1 Brachio Force, 1 Counter Charger, and 1 best harvest for it. Which is okay. It's okay. But pretty much I think Gandiva has proved itself on why like on the bestest of lists, right? So just quickly we can go through the Zorga. So this was the Zorga, right? That I think, yeah, I'm pretty sure we didn't see it. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we didn't see it, or maybe we did. Actually, yeah, I think it's a 12 BFB. Yeah, okay. It was a repeat. So pretty much Gandiva is solved week 2. This is the biggest takeaway. Gandiva solved week 2. Zorga is kind of solved, I guess, nearly solved. And everyone is running Ebisu. Everyone and their mom is running Ebisu. Yeah, pretty crazy. That is it for this week. We went through quite a lot of lists. You know, I kind of want to go through a lot of lists, just kind of seeing all the ideas, because yeah, going to the Japanese metagame is kind of totally weird. Just want to see what everyone's doing in teams. So yeah, that's it. Let me know what you guys think. See you all in the next video. Yeah, bye.